Hey guys, it's me, sMooVe. I'm about to show you one of my wizard builds due to a high amount of requests. A lot of people have asked this of me, and I'm gonna include a little guide so you guys can, see what exactly it is I'm doing to get um, uh, a pretty good score at the leaderboard. As you can see right now, I'm currently ranked 200-ish. Let me see, where am I here? I'm currently ranked 232 in Europe in the Great Rift leaderboard. I have to say though, this was a really bad rift. I'm pretty sure I can do a like tier 35, maybe tier 36 with this skill, and also with my build. Yeah, basically, this is my wizard. I'm gonna go into game and I'm gonna show you a bit of my build and also at how it works, and also I'm gonna explain a few things about it. Alright, there you go. Okay, this is my gear. Basically, I'm using the Firebird set, so I have the shoulders, I'm using the helmet. I'm not using Mage Fist. There's a reason for that. I'm gonna get into that later. I'm also using the pants, I'm using the boots, and yeah, I'm using a really good Ring of the Royal Grandeur, which completes the set basically. Yeah, one of the most important things I'm using right now is actually not my weapon, nor is it the Cinder Coat. Nope, it is the String of Ears belt. This is, in my opinion, the best belt you can actually have for Greater Rifts. And there's one specific reason for it. It reduces damage from melee attacks by a significant amount, up to 30%. And this is really important for wizards, as we are so squishy. There's like nothing we can do against melee attacks, and we don't have a lot of armor. We don't have the 30% damage reduction that barbarians or that who else gets it? I think Crusaders also get it. Like all the melees, basically, also monks. So we need to have this belt, because there's nothing else you can basically have. I mean, you can go for the Orc Hills, but then it's gonna get, that's what I used before, as you can see. I've used the Orc Hill set before. Where is it? There it is. With the Orc Hill Surge and the Orc Hill's power, so you can get 7% reduced damage from ranged and melee attacks, and also same 15% reduced damage from elites. But the problem is that you're gonna run into trouble to finish your Firebird set, which is essential to this build I'm running. Also, I'm using the Cinder Coat. The Cinder Coat is really important, as it reduces the resource of my fire skills by a significant amount. I'm gonna go into that later, like in a few minutes. I'm also using the Talrasha's Allegiance. You can basically use any amulet you want. You can probably use Ouroboros, or you can use a different amulet, as long as it's a pretty decent roll. If you don't want to roll a socket in it, like I did, you can run fire damage instead. But you want to keep in mind that the amount of fire damage you can stack is actually only around 50-ish, and afterwards you're gonna be better off going for pure damage output, since it's hitting some kind of diminishing returns. It's kind of hard to explain, but you don't want to go too much overkill with fire damage increases. Alright, yeah, I have Reaper's Reps. I'm using those, so I'm getting more out of my primary resource, which is pretty good when I'm using health globes. It's a really good roll as well. Yeah, I'm using a Unity Ring. This is pretty essential for doing solo rifting as well, since yeah, as you probably already know, it splits. If you have two unities equipped, one on your follower and one on yourself, it splits the damage in less than half, basically, because if you're using this gem, Enchanting Favor, on your follower, it cannot die, which also means in the same time it doesn't take any damage whatsoever. So basically, since it doesn't take any damage, if somebody and if some mob just hits your follower, it doesn't do anything to you. And vice versa, like if you get hit, it doesn't do anything to your follower. However, it still splits the damage, right? So you can basically have less than 50% damage taken with this unity right here. If you have two unities equipped, one on your follower, one on yourself. I'm also using the furnace. The furnace is, in my opinion, by far the best weapon at the moment for wizards. It's not the best roll, it's a decent roll. I wish I had a better fire damage roll, and that I can get it up to 3,700. But it's so important to actually have this weapon just because of the secondary stat. Increases damage against elites by 42%. Because this is such an important stat. Having an increase by 42% basically means you're doing about, like, in combination with the unity I have here, I'm doing 70% more damage to elites, which is a huge amount. Also, the elites are the most menacing force in the game, so basically you want to kill them as fast as possible. And also, I have a gem equipped, Bane of the Powerful. It gives me 15% more increased damage against elites, and it also gives me 20% increased damage for almost a minute after killing an elite pack. Which means that, given how many elite packs are in Greater Rifts right now, means that it's basically up non-stop. So I'm having a 20% flat damage increase right now, which is really huge as well. I'm also running a secondary gem, the gem of the efficacious toxin. I'm not a native English speaker, you might as well know, but yeah, it's basically it poisons all enemies hit for 3,500 weapon damage, which is huge. It does so much damage, it really does, and it also increases 10%, like your overall damage by 10% as well. So just by having this gem increased and this gem increases, like, my overall damage is getting boosted by 30%, which is a huge amount, right? So don't pay attention to the normal sheet DPS. It's completely irrelevant. There's nothing to it whatsoever. Right, so this is basically the gear I'm running. Now, going to my skills. The power gun, first of all, the paragon levels. I'm going to full movement speed for this build. I already have 11% on my boots, so I only need 14% right here. I'm using maximum arcane power since I'm really using a lot of arcane power. I'm actually only using arcane power. There's not a single spell I'm using that doesn't use arcane power, and the rest goes into intelligence. For the offensive part, I'm going for full crit chance, full critical hit damage, and I'm going for cooldown reduction. Just to get my black hole up a little bit faster. Attack speed is completely irrelevant for this build. You don't need any of it. For defense, I'm going armor first. I think armor is one of the most important stats since it's the only thing that negates physical damage, and physical damage is by far the most menacing, as I explained before. And I'm using resist all, just because I don't have that much resistances on my gear. But resistances are important for negating the damage you actually take, so that's pretty important as well. And the rest goes into life for me. If you have a higher amount of paragon levels right now, I'm pretty low. I'm actually 454 at the moment. There's people that have a lot higher paragon level, but I didn't play for like a long time before this 2.1 patch came out, so yeah, basically that's it. Also the utility I'm running is full area damage and full resource course reduction. The rest goes into life on hit, which is pretty cool because it scales with the blizzard as far as I've seen. So you get quite a bit of life per hit, basically. Alright, these are my paragon levels. Now, my skills. Main skill is Energy Twister with the Gale Force rune. What that does is basically all the enemies that I'm hitting with it take 15% increased damage from fire. This is a huge amount, especially if you first fire this Energy Twister and hit a few enemies, and then you use another fire spell on them, like Hydra, or in this case, my Fire Blizzard. This is mental. This is just, it boosts your damage by 15% overall. This is crazy. This is really crazy. It does so much damage. So this is like my main spell I'm using. The secondary spell I'm using is Fire Blizzard. This is always up, by the way. This doesn't have a cooldown or anything, so I'm using it with the Blizzard Apocalypse Fire for an increased area of damage. At the same time, obviously, it's the only rune that uses fire, and since fire is the main elemental damage that we're using here, it's the only option. And it trust me, you don't need any of that crap here. You don't need cold, you don't need anything. The only thing you need is fire damage. Right. When I'm running T6 or the lower tiered rifts, I'm usually not using a Hydra. I'm using Sparkflint. Or is it? There is the familiar Sparkflint. In lower tiers, everything dies so fast, you don't need a Hydra to deal damage meanwhile. So there's no reason to do that. But right now I'm using the Hydra since I'm gonna show you a little rifting in tier 31. Yeah, I'm using the Mammoth Hydra. The Blazing Hydra is just not as good in my opinion, even though it's the only thing that scales with increased attack speed right now, because Blizzard apparently don't like Mammoth Hydra scaling with attack speed. It's the only thing that scales with attack speed right now. So basically, this would deal more single target DPS, but the problem is that we're nuking everything, so we're doing a lot of AoE, so we need that Hydra to be up. Also, it's a lot faster stacking up our huge dot that I'll come to in a few seconds. I'm using Black Hole with Spell Steal. I could use Event Horizon instead. That would do just a little bit more. Yeah, so it would just add a little bit more survivability to your overall build, but in my opinion, I don't need it at all. The only thing it would be useful for is probably like tier 35 and upwards, just to get rid of all the arcane and all the frozen and whatever that comes with the elites there, if you can't kill them fast enough. But yeah, for now I'm using the Black Hole Spell Seal rune that gives me basically more survivability, since they deal 10% reduced damage for 5 seconds, and also you can even further boost your DPS by 3% for each enemy being hit by a black hole. So basically, if you say have a big group with like 20 mobs in it, you're gonna have 20 times 3%, which is 60% increased damage for 5 seconds, which is pretty huge. Yeah, the next thing I'm using is Energy Armor, pretty classic basically, with Prismatic Armor, just to increase my resistances, as I don't have that many resistances on my gear right now. Otherwise, like other basically things you could do would be Energy Armor, Force Armor for really high tiers, since you only take 35% damage, and usually if I've been running tier 35 and upwards so far, and like if you get jailed, for instance, you usually take about half of your HP straight away from you. So this is basically negating that, which is pretty cool in my opinion. But I haven't tried it out yet. I just think about doing it, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. This basically is completely irrelevant, and yeah, that's what I'm using right now for now. Yeah, magic weapon. Usually you would use force weapon to flat increase your magic weapon damage to 20% instead of only 10%. I'm not running that, and the reason I'm not running that is I need a lot of arcane power, and the best way to get that is the conduit skill rune that hits that gives me 3 arcane power for each enemy hit, so I can actually spam my abilities quite a lot, and this is really important for this build, as you will see in a few seconds. Alright, passive skills. I'm using Elemental Exposure. The reason I'm using Elemental Exposure, I would not recommend using this while running with a group, by the way. This is pretty much a really good rune if you're running solo, and the reason why it is a really good rune is my Templar is wearing a Thunder Fury. Thunder Fury procs lightning to all the enemies that are in the vicinity, basically. So if he charges into them, I'm already getting a 1 stack of elemental exposure, which means 5% increased damage. He also is wearing a Moonlight Ward. That gives me another 5%. So I'm like, just by using this, I'm getting 10% more DPS, right? At the same time, I am using the Black Hole, which also uses Arcane, right? So in case it doesn't proc from the Templar, I'm using Arcane Black Hole, so that gives me 100% uptime of basically 10% increased elemental exposure. Also, I'm using Fire, which gives me another 5%, right? I'm not getting all of them. I'm not using anything that uses Frost. You could probably do that. You could probably go and use a skill that uses Frost, but in my opinion, it's just not worth it. It's just another 5%, and with my skill build, I'm using already 15% of it, so it's pretty decent. Right, I'm using Astral Presence. As I explained before, I need a lot of arcane power. This is why I'm using it. I could probably get rid of it. I haven't tried it out yet, but I could probably get rid of it and instead get something like Unstable Anomaly for really high tier rifts. Or I can use Dominance. Unwavering Will, which was really good for a lot of people running normal builds before, like for instance the Hydra build, or for instance the just builds where you have to stand still for quite a bit, like Archon for instance. This is completely useless for this build, as you will be moving non-stop. I'm using Conflagration. That increases my chance to hit the enemies with my to be critically hit by 6%, which is pretty huge, but you don't need it. It's not really necessary right now. I'm just using it for more UPS. I'm just a big fan of wizards just destroying everything. And I'm also using a mandatory rune, in my opinion. It's Blur. Flat damage decreased by 17%. It's pretty huge. What all that gives me is basically a huge amount of toughness. If I buff myself, right, I'm running 16.4 million toughness, right? If I could get, like, if I'm using a flat Hydra build, I could use, go all the way up to 30 million maybe, but like, if you're using normal Hydra build, you can probably, just with the same gear, you could go to 23 million-ish. And that is a huge amount of toughness, but you will need it, like, because those mobs, they hit hard in this place. So yeah. What else is there? Basically, I think that's all there is to it right now. Quick explanation for the Firebird set. When I recorded my last video, the Firebird set had not been fixed yet. So there was an issue with the Firebird 6 set bonus not really proccing as it should be. But right now it works just fine. It's fixed and now it's working perfectly. As you can see, the 6 set bonus does 3000% weapon damage as fire per second. And also you have a lot more survivability, since the 4 set bonus gives you a meteor that revives you. So basically you have 1 free death without actually dying, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Alright. Sheet DPS, as I said, completely irrelevant. The fire damage increase, I could go up to 50%-ish, but right now I'm better off, in my opinion, using the socket in the Torashas. And then also, like, if I feel that if I go any higher, I'm not dealing any damage to white mobs, which is also gonna be a problem in higher tiers, because like even the white mobs have like 200 million XP each, 200 million health each. So yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna show you how a level 31 Greater Rift looks like. All right, let's go. Don't forget to buff yourself at the beginning. I found it out the hard way a few times before. Everything dies pretty fast, as you can see. Alright, elites, finally. I'm actually just looking for elites because it's so much easier to kill them. They basically melt within seconds. And they give me that 20% damage increase after I kill them. See? Bane of the Powerful right now. So I'm dealing more damage now. Go. This is actually an annoying rift. Usually, like if you have slow monsters, you can just stand next to them, kill them within 2 seconds, and just run away while they're dying from the dot. It's a lot easier. Those damn ghosts, you can't do anything against them because all they do is just follow you and do a lot of damage. So you have to kill them faster. Alright. As you can see, I'm barely taking any damage. Even though this is a level 31 rift, and they do quite a lot of that. Right, another lead pack. My Bane is already running out, so this is pretty good that I'm finding another one at least. So I can actually apply the same... Ow, I just had a lag. Alright. Let's finish this as fast as possible, and hopefully I'll get the level 34 rift next time. I'm not gonna show you that though, because it's like, as you can see, I just had a lag, and the reason I'm lagging a bit is because of my recording software. I don't know what's the issue right now. However, I'm not running the risk in doing tier 31 rifts with lags and everything. It's already annoying as it is right now with the DDoS attacks that are happening with the Blizzard servers. Sometimes you just get like a ping of 1000 plus, and it's just annoying. Come on, you fight more elites. Ow. There you go, more elites, always good. Might be... Oh no, I'm not dead. Okay, that's good. There you go. Yeah, electrified is something that messes you up quite hard sometimes, and also if there's a lot of like small monsters that really hit hard within 2 seconds and they charge you, this is still something that's yeah, since you don't have any slows with this build. However, I have the feeling that usually it doesn't really matter. Like, even if you have a lot of slows, they just charge you, like Winged Assassins, Corrupted Angels, and so on. Those mobs are really threatening to you, no matter what you're running, actually. As you can see, I'm pretty far into it already. I got 10 minutes left. I'm more than halfway done. It's pretty good. Ow. Damn wallers. Alright. Alright. Let's hope that I'm not getting any more lags now. need another elite group since my buff is running out fast. Once I've upgraded it to like level 40, I think I'm not gonna have any issues anymore. I think that's the highest I need to be. Because then like every 40 seconds I'm probably gonna kill an elite group in a Greater Rift. That shouldn't be a problem. Keep my health up a bit. Alright, nice, another elite group. That's good. They also have Vortex, that's a bit annoying, but the good thing about Vortex is that I can kill them faster that way, actually. It's funny. They just pull me in, and then I'm gonna kill them easily. See? There you go. Oh, they also had Frozen Pulse, didn't even realize that. Right. Buff is up again. Kill stuff faster again. And this is pretty much the whole build. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like it. It's so much fun. I've actually, I'm actually being honest, I never had that much fun with any other build playing my wizard in over 1,800 hours. This is just one of the best builds I've ever played with. So much fun. You just wreck stuff. There you go, another one. 2 or 3 more elites and then we're gonna kill the boss. We're still running a good time. Actually, before that patch, I didn't play at all because I thought wizards were so underpowered, which they were. Like, usually, even running an Archon build, which was like with full cooldown reduction and everything, I never managed to actually get a normal T6 Rift done in less than 10 minutes. Like maybe once or twice, but that was like just with really lucky mobs and really good areas and so on. And it wasn't fun at all. Like in comparison to witch doctors, witch doctors, especially Jade witch doctors, could run a rift in another lag, a rift in easily like 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and so could like well-built crusaders. I think monks were just like soloing. They couldn't solo at all, but like in groups, they were basically the main part of the group because of their palm build, but wizards didn't have anything. Like I actually had a lot of friends saying, yeah, as a wizard I never get invited into groups because we're not doing enough damage, and I think they fixed that quite nicely. It's a lot of fun playing like that now. I actually can't get enough. I'm kind of addicted to it. It's just so much fun just running around killing everything in a huge blow. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen an elite so far. I don't know where all the elites are. This is another good rift. Ranged enemies are not good. Melee enemies are actually pretty fine now. Usually they were the biggest menace, but now they're not anymore. Since I'm running the String of Ear spell and have so much damage reduction. And I'm also like just running around anyways. I'm just like running. I'm running into them even. I'm not even running away like I used to do. It's not like you're running just away from them the whole time. Alright, another lead group. This should probably get us to the end boss. Still have plenty of time left. Alright. Alright. Doesn't. Ah, nice. Another one. That's good. This should fix it. Always get away from the frozen pulse. It's fucking annoying and it does so much damage. Oh. Alright. Do I have enough? Nope. Finally. Nice. Ah, it's an easy one. It's Cold Snap. Just run around in circles. No big deal. When he charges you, he doesn't do as much damage anymore. Since with this build, as I said, like the charge does melee damage, and it's just ridiculous how much damage reduction you have with that. So you can see he's going down pretty fast. He's got 9 billion HP, and yeah, there's like no problem whatsoever. Just running around in circles, casting my Hydra every once in a while, dodge all the frozen thingies if you can. There's another frozen pulse. I'm gonna leave that here. I'm gonna dodge that. Just run around, easy done. And then he's about to die. Whoa, another lag. I really have to fix that shit. Alright, there you go. He's done. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. It's not a good time. I've had a lot better times. He doesn't even drop anything. That's disappointing. But yeah, now I'm gonna upgrade to level 32. There you go. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, see you soon.